I want you to imagine something. Picture a mountain carved entirely out of solid stone, a building so huge that for centuries, people didn't even bother with its real name. They just called it the Big Temple. Well, today, we're going to journey back 1,000 years to explore that very place, the Brihadeeswara Temple. It's an architectural marvel that, even now, has engineers scratching their heads and inspires millions.
But to really get a handle on this place, you have to start with one massive, mind-bending puzzle. You see the land around it? It's a lush, completely flat river delta. And then you see the temple, a literal mountain of rock. So the question is, how on earth do you build a mountain of rock in a place that has no rock? The answer is what makes this one of the greatest engineering stories ever told.
So, welcome everyone to the Brihadeeswara Temple in Thanjavur, India. But calling it just a temple, well, that doesn't even begin to cover it. It's a giant puzzle carved in stone, it's a major power move by an ancient empire, and it's an incredible testament to the faith of the Chola dynasty who built it more than 1,000 years ago. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the sheer mystery of how this granite mountain was even possible. Then we'll meet the king with the grand vision to pull it off. We'll take a virtual walk among its giant structures to really feel the scale, and then we'll try to solve that ancient engineering enigma. After that, we'll listen to the stories its walls are whispering, and finally, I'll lay out an itinerary so you can plan your own trip. Okay, first up, a granite mountain of faith. And believe me, we're calling it that for a reason. You know, this place is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but it's not just because it's beautiful. No, it's because building it should have been, well, impossible. The whole challenge comes down to the materials. So what are we looking at here? This is a perfect example of what's called Dravidian architecture. And this style, it's all about going big. I mean, really big. Think massive, pyramid-shaped towers, we call them Vimanas, that just soar into the sky. Every single surface is covered in these incredible, intricate carvings, and the whole thing is set inside these huge courtyards. The Brihadeeswara Temple might just be the best example of this style, ever. Okay, let's get back to that crazy puzzle. The land around Thanjavur, the reality is that it's a river delta. It's flat, it's fertile, and it has absolutely no stone quarries. None. And yet the entire temple is built from an estimated 130,000 tons of solid granite. That means every single block was quarried and then hauled over 75 kilometers to get to the building site. Just try to wrap your head around the logistics of that 1,000 years ago. It's wild. So who was the mastermind behind this unbelievable project? Well, that would be the great Chola emperor, Rajaraja I. This guy was a total powerhouse, the ruler of a massive empire. And his vision was simple but incredibly ambitious. Build a temple for the god Shiva that would be the greatest thing anyone had ever seen. Period. But here's the part that really gets me. Look at this timeline. Construction kicks off in 1003, and it's finished by 1010. That's just 7 years. Let that sink in for a second. Quarrying, transporting, carving, and lifting 130,000 tons of granite into place in only 7 years? It's just astounding. This timeline alone tells you everything about the incredible power, money, and organizational genius of the Chola Empire. Now, we can talk about numbers all day, but it's a whole other thing to actually feel the scale of this place. The moment you walk through its gates, you get it. You understand why they just called it the Big Temple. Everything, and I mean everything, is designed to make you feel small, to fill you with this incredible sense of awe. First thing you do, you look up, way, way up. The main tower, the Vimana, it soars 66 meters into the sky. That's 216 feet, basically a 20-story building. For centuries, this was the tallest man-made structure in all of India. And right there, guarding the entrance, is this colossal statue of Nandi, the sacred bull. Now get this, it's not a bunch of pieces stuck together. No, it weighs 25 tons, and it was carved from one single block of granite. Can you imagine the skill that took? Not just to carve it, but to move it into place without breaking it. Then, when you go deep inside, into the heart of the temple, the sacred inner sanctum, sits one of the largest Shivalings in all of India. It's a single stone, standing almost 20 feet tall. It's just this powerful, silent presence at the absolute core of this amazing space. So you start to see the pattern here, right? The 66-meter tower, the monolithic bowl, the giant lingam, that 800-foot-long corridor. It's all granite, it's all massive, And whenever they could, they carved it from a single stone. Yeah, calling it the Big Temple might just be the understatement of the century. All of this brings us to the temple's greatest mystery. It's an engineering puzzle that has stumped historians for centuries, and it all revolves around one single, impossibly heavy stone. So here it is. At the very peak of that 66-meter tower is a single, solid piece of granite called a capstone, and it weighs, wait for it, 80 tons. The question is pretty straightforward. How in the world did they lift an 80-ton stone to the height of a 20-story building over 1,000 years ago without any modern machinery?
So how'd they do it? Well, the leading theory is just as ambitious as the temple itself. It's believed that the builders constructed a gigantic earthen ramp. To get a slope gentle enough to move an 80-ton stone, that ramp would have had to start over 6 kilometers away. That's almost 4 miles. Then, using the combined power of elephants and thousands of men, they would have slowly, painstakingly rolled that colossal stone all the way to the top and maneuvered it perfectly into place. Just incredible ingenuity.
Okay, so the massive scale is mind-blowing, for sure. But the temple is so much more than just big. If you start to look closer, the walls themselves, they come alive. They're like a living library, a time capsule of the art, dance, and history of the entire Chola Empire. You've got all these hidden treasures within the walls. There are these stunning fresco paintings, and their colors are still vibrant after a millennium. The walls are covered in carvings that show the 108 different poses of classical Indian dance. You'll find thousands of Tamil inscriptions that act like a history book, documenting everything from the king's orders to how much the temple priests were paid. Oh, and that huge corridor, it's lined with 252 individual Shiva lingams. But a place like this goes beyond its physical form. It's meant to be experienced, not just looked at. People who visit often talk about this palpable energy inside, this amazing, positive vibe that you can actually feel. It was designed to connect people to the cosmos, and even after 1,000 years, it still works its magic.
So, what if all this has you thinking, okay, I have to see this for myself? Well, you're in luck. Let's get practical and walk through how you can plan your very own trip to this architectural wonder. All right, here's the essential info. The temple is in the city of Thanjavur, in India's Tamil Nadu state. Pay attention to the split opening hours. They're actually perfect for visitors. And maybe the most amazing detail of all, entry is completely free. Plus, it's wheelchair accessible, which is fantastic. If you've got a couple of days, here's what I'd recommend. On day 1, just dive into the big temple. Seriously, go in the morning and then go back in the evening. In between, you can explore the nearby Thanjavur Royal Palace complex, which has a cool museum and a famous library. Then, on day 2, you can see other sides of the city's history, like the historic Schwartz Church, and check out even more artifacts at the Government Museum. And just a few final tips to make your visit unforgettable. I highly recommend visiting twice, morning and evening. The way the sunlight hits that granite is completely different each time, and both are beautiful. You can take photos almost everywhere, just not inside the main inner sanctum. And while you're in town, keep an eye out for the famous Thanjavur paintings. And trust me on this last one, wear comfortable shoes. This place is vast, and you'll be doing a lot of walking. So we end right back where we started, with a question. The Brihadeeswara Temple is so much more than a building. It's a storybook written in stone that's been open for 1,000 years. It has seen empires rise and fall. It has watched countless generations pass through its gates. And it really makes you wonder, after all this time, what other secrets, what other stories are these ancient stones still waiting to tell?